purpose of this first part of the demo, we'll go ahead and select human, female, and now we get to select your profession. We've announced that our game will have 8 professions, and previously we'd announced that we have Elementalist, Warrior, Ranger, and now just for Gamescom we introduced the Necromancer. Necromancer, as you can probably guess, uses dark forces of magic, life-sucking energy, as well as summoning undead minions to help support them. For this demo we'll go ahead and select Elementalist, and here we're at a character customization screen. Again, for speed reasons, we have disabled the character customization and just done a random creation, but in the final character customization for Guild Wars 2, we'll literally have millions of options for you to customize the look and feel of your character. So now we get to a part of the character creation process that I'm not sure any MMOs have. This is called your biography. And it is in your biography that you will be able to select very specific things that will determine how your character's personality, storyline develops through the course of the game. The first question is a pretty easy one. It's basically an accessory and jewelry question. By going through water or fire, earth, you'll notice the little gem on the head of my Elementalist changes color. It actually doesn't have any hard gameplay impact. It's just a nice, cool visual differentiation. Let's go ahead and pick. Yeah, that looks good. This one is rather interesting. This is an introduction to our personality system. I talked a little bit about having personal story be a much bigger part of the game. We call it kind of putting the RPG back into MMORPG, and this is an example of how we're doing that. Your personality system has a number of ways to measure it. The 3 initial ones are you can interact charmingly, with dignity, or ferociously. Depending how you choose that, this is your initial disposition in the game. Somebody who becomes particularly ferocious in his interactions with NPCs. For example, as he walks through the city, children may run screaming from him, in fear. Whereas if you're someone who's particularly charming, children may run up and follow you and sing your praises as you walk through the city. Likewise, as you have conversations with NPCs, depending on what your personality is, will open up different conversation trees and different ways to interact with people. For example, someone who's particularly ferocious may have an opportunity to end a conversation by punching the NPC in the face. So let's go ahead and pick ferocious, just for fun. Okay. So this next one says I was raised as a commoner, a noble, or in the streets. This has a very immediate impact on how your story of the world will start. If, for example, by common folk, I will have friends who are kind of what we'd call, blue-collar workers, salt-of-the-earth friends. If I had chosen nobility, you also notice the clothing changes a little bit. If I chose nobility, I'll have very highly placed, noble friends who spend lots of money on me. And the last one, streets. I'll have to worry about things like street gangs, and maybe I ran in a street gang for a while before I came to my current place. Let's choose common folk for now. And this next one is kind of fun. We won't see the full impact of these, but these will have rather far-reaching effects later on. What is your biggest regret? One might be you got passed up for an opportunity. You never recovered your sister's body, and this one's our personal favorite. I was passed up for an opportunity to join the circus. Chances are, you choose that one, something circus related will come across your doorstep in your personal story. This last one is you choose which human god you're most affiliated with, and this will also drastically alter how your personal story plays out. Now what I just showed you, all those things are very specific to the humans. If I were to play a Char or an Azura or a Norn, I would get a completely different set of experience. For example, the social standing questions, Char don't have this notion of common nobility streets. They may be asked, which legion are you affiliated with? So again, from terms of customizing your personal story, replayability, you'll have a lot of different options if you decide personal story is the way you want to progress through the game world. So go ahead, you'll see what happens here is we've a couple of paragraphs, we've summarized all the choices that you've made. This is effectively the beginning of your biography. This is the beginning of your story.
The human race once ruled Tyria.
So what you're seeing here
Now, we struggle to hold our ground.
is the painterly, hand-drawn, illustrated concept art that we're famous for in ArenaNet. We've integrated these into our cinematics
Not surrender.
to give this feel of grandeur.
Nations have fallen. Only Kryta still stands. Our faith is strong, despite the silence of the six gods. With courage, we'll make our stand in divinity's reach.
So now at this point, the cinematic actually branches based on the choices you made
The city is my home.
and tell you that
I was born to common folk.
Born to common
As
folk.
one among many. My friends and I don't seek attention or glory. It's hard enough making ends meet. But I believe we can still shape a brighter world out of the ashes of the past. Today, I stepped outside of divinity's reach to see the world. But when I arrived in Shania, the town was under siege by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help.
and you'll see here we actually integrate your character into the cinematic.
I have to fight. I have to make a stand. This is my story.